Good evening, everybody. Getting ready to start a nice, gentle trauma recovery yoga practice. What makes trauma recovery yoga different than just regular old yoga? Really, I guess the biggest thing would be choice, and the fact that this class is meant to be for literally anyone and everyone. You know, I found this, I'd never done yoga in my life when I found trauma recovery yoga. After experiencing the loss of my wife of 30 years in a tragic accident and being lost, I walked into an old VFW hall downtown, and look at me. At the time, I was 52 years old, never done yoga, believed in work, but didn't. I ain't been to the gym in decades. Overweight, and I went in for whatever reason. Ended up falling over, sweating, feeling awkward, and then, wow, there's this thing called Shavasana or guided meditation that brought a little bit of calm to a very disordered mind. And that was the beginning of now 3 years of being a regular practitioner. I've branched out and explored other stuff, but I'll tell you that for me, trauma recovery yoga is truly authentic. It's genuine yoga at its core, at its boiled down essence. It's about finding healing within yourself. It's not having anything bestowed upon you. It's helping you to discover how to reconnect your mind and your body, and then how to use that connection to overcome some of our innate fears, some fears built up through trauma. It's about learning self-regulation, which is the first thing we practice. Every single practice begins with practicing self-regulation. And why do we do that every single practice? It's to help plant it in our head that we do have control in what can be a very chaotic world. That building up, and you know, it came to me this morning, it's building up muscle memory, but not physical muscle memory, mental muscle memory, so that when something adverse hits that may trigger a panic attack, may just send you spiraling, rather than following that path that we always have, that our mind, without us having to make a conscious decision, goes, oh, I know how to take and make this a little bit better on my own. I can fall back on the breath. I can fall back on grounding. I can fall back on centering. And it's not, for me, it's not a conscious decision. It's something that, knock on wood, has become autonomic. Instead of me going into panic, fight or flight, or just curling in on myself, I find myself more and more taking a breath. And then, you know, that sounds so simple, but really that's the core. When you've been through a traumatic incident, when you've had your foundations ripped out from underneath of you in whatever way, be that through addiction, be it through a traumatic event, be it through injury, we literally forget how to breathe. And that sounds so simple. That, what do you mean? I'm breathing, I'm not dying. But if you take a second to just pay attention, you'll notice that when those stressors come on, you find yourself holding your breath. Or you're breathing and the air's never getting below this level here, never getting below your chest. So that's what we're doing, is we're using the mind-body connection along with exploiting some of the principles discovered in modern science like neuroplasticity, about how that if we give the brain the time to process things without agitation, that it can find new pathways, it can find new ways. And also that just by repeating things, we can build that muscle memory in your head. Yeah, I guess said that we're all a bunch of muscle heads, knuckleheads, whatever. But anyway, be that as it may, we're going to move into a nice, gentle trauma recovery yoga practice with Max, or as my granddaughters call me, Poppy. And those of you that have been through trauma recovery yoga training, you remember back to the shirt, and that was my shirt that I was wearing when I first went into the training. Was my favorite. People call me Poppy, and that truly is my core. So we start by becoming present in the room, looking around, making sure that we understand where the exits are, that we begin that feeling of safety and security. Next, we begin the process of self-regulation, practicing again to build up that habit, create that good habit. We're not looking to break habits, we're looking to build up good habits. We start by grounding. Grounding, what's that? Grounding is literally feeling the support provided by the ground, feeling it through the sides of your feet, noticing it in your sit bones, maybe even taking your hand, putting it on the mat, looking at your hand, resting on the mat, and feeling that solidity, that stability. Not only feeling it, but seeing it and recognizing it for what it is. And planting it in your head that, you know what? That stability is always right there for me. Next, we begin to center. Center is the process of bringing our awareness inward, looking inward instead of worrying about what's going on out here. And how do we do that? We start by lifting the pelvic floor as if trying to restrict the flow of urine. And then we pull the belly button in towards the spine, pulling it in, feeling that heat begin to build, imagining that we're stoking our internal furnace, stoking that furnace that we can use to burn up all of the stuff that no longer serves us. And then, aha, you notice that stuff out there? It's kind of shrinking in. And your mind and your body are focusing on your core, on your center. You're literally thinking about the center of your being. The third piece of self-regulation is breathing. Like I said a minute ago, it sounds so simple, but it's really not. So first, we just begin to notice the breath. Asking yourself and noticing, am I breathing in or am I breathing out? Becoming aware of that process. Feeling the air flowing in and flowing out. Not trying to control it at this point, just noticing. Feeling the air flowing across the tip of your nose. Maybe feeling a gentle cooling in the back of your throat. And then finally, we're going to begin a 3-part yogic breathing. Literally teaching ourselves how to take a deep, fulfilling breath and then exhale that breath completely. We're going to inflate ourselves from the bottom up. We begin by expanding the belly, filling the belly with air, continuing that inhale, filling the chest to where the ribs separate and the shoulders lift. And the final little breath of air makes your sinuses cool and your eyes sparkle. And then we exhale from the top down. We feel our chin come down, and then as our lungs begin to deflate, our shoulders soften, and finally our belly comes in. And we inhale, big belly, shoulders lift, eyes cool and sparkle. Exhale, chin comes down, shoulders soften, belly comes in. One more time. Inhale, big belly, shoulders lift, eyes cool and sparkle. And then this time we're going to exhale completely, the chin coming down, the shoulders softening, the belly coming back into the spine. And leaving the chin resting gently towards the chest, we're going to release that belly button and allow the breath to fall into its natural rhythm. Not forcing it, not pressuring yourself, just feeling the breath flowing in and flowing out. Continuing to be aware of that breath. And then on the next inhale, we're going to bring the right ear to the right shoulder. Focusing on bringing the ear to the shoulder, not the shoulder to the ear. Keeping that shoulder blade plugged in as we continue to breathe. Feeling a stretch across the top of the opposite side of the neck. And on the next exhale, we're going to allow that chin to come back down towards the chest gently. Continuing to breathe in and breathe out. And on the next inhale, bringing the left ear to the left shoulder. Again, bring the ear to the shoulder, not the shoulder to the ear. Feeling that gentle pull across those tendons on the right side of your neck. And being aware that you're still breathing in and breathing out. Feeling that air flowing in and flowing out. And on the next exhale, we're going to allow that chin to come back down towards the chest. Continuing that breath and preparing for a series of neck rolls where we're going to focus on noticing how we link the breath to the movement. So as we inhale, we're going to bring the right ear to the right shoulder and tip our head back. And then continuing the circle, we're going to exhale as we come around to the left and down. Inhaling to the right as we extend. Exhaling to the left as we compress. Inhaling to the right and back. Exhaling to the left and down. And one more time around, inhaling as we extend. Exhaling to the left as we compress. Then allowing the chin to rest maybe a little bit heavier. Maybe feeling those tendons begin to tug on the top of your scalp as it gets stretched out in the back of your neck. Before reversing the rotation with the next inhale, inhaling to the left and back. Exhaling to the right and down. Noticing that link that we're inhaling as we extend, we're exhaling as we contract. Thinking about this movement, how the breath and the movement are together, and that we're going to try to link our movement all through this practice with this same breath. Inhale as we extend. Exhale, we allow the chin to rest heavily down to our chest. Feeling again those tendons in the back of the neck stretching out, maybe gently tugging on the scalp. Before straightening the spine, bring the head up to neutral, the gaze forward, bringing the right hand up, palm forward, shoulder blade still plugged in to its socket. Shifting the gaze and the palm towards each other, blinking the eyes, wiggling the fingers, Noticing that hand and allowing the light to flow in and stimulate the happy center of the brain. Then we slowly shift the gaze down to the left. Bring the left hand down to the mat, walking it slowly away. And again, taking a second to notice the support and the stability of the earth. Before we shift the gaze back to the front, inhale, reach the right hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale, come over the top, feeling a stretch on the right and a compression on the left. Inhale, expand. Exhale, come down just a little bit more. Before inhaling, coming back up, and then exhaling, bringing the hands back down to the knees. Next, we're going to take and do the same thing on the other side. Inhaling, bringing the left hand up, elbow bent, shoulder blade still plugged into its socket in the back. Shifting the gaze to the left and the palm to the face. Looking at the palm, wiggling the fingers, blinking the eyes. Again, allowing the light to flow in and stimulate that awake center in your brain. Shifting the gaze over to the right. Bring the right hand down to the mat, walking it slowly away. Shifting the gaze back to the front. Reaching that left hand up towards the ceiling, and then exhaling as we come over the top, feeling the stretch on the left and the compression on the right. Inhale, expand. Exhale, come down just a little bit more. Before inhaling, coming back up. Exhaling, bringing the hands back down to the knees. Remembering to continue to think about and be connected with your breath. Again, not controlling, just noticing. Am I breathing in? Am I breathing out? And then we're going to inhale, sweep the hands up overhead. Interlace the fingers, keeping the index finger pointed up to the ceiling. Forming the hand of our own personal clock. We're going to inhale, reach those hands up. Exhale, come over 1, 2 numbers on your personal clock. Inhale, extend. Exhale, come down just a little bit more. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, come down the other way. 1, 2 numbers. Inhale, extend. Exhale, come down just a little bit more. For inhaling, coming back up to center. Continuing to breathe. Shifting the gaze up to that cup between your hands. And then inhale, reaching up, pulling everything up into that extension towards the ceiling. Feeling all of your muscles tighten up before exhaling, opening the hands up and opening the arms wide, exposing the heart, and feeling the weight of the day begin to lift from your shoulders. Then we're going to take and bring the left hand to the right knee, right hand behind the right hip. We're going to inhale as we sit up straight, and in using the torso, not using our arms, we're going to exhale and twist to the right. We're going to inhale, sit up straight, shift the gaze over that back shoulder, and then using that front hand, we're going to pull ourselves around just a little bit more, deepening that twist before releasing and coming back to center. And then we're going to bring the right hand to the left knee, left hand behind the left hip. Inhale, sit up straight. Exhale, twist with the body to the left. Inhale, sit up straight. Shift the gaze over that back shoulder. And using that front hand, pull yourself around just a little bit more, loosening up and releasing some of that tension in your back before releasing and coming back to center. Now we're going to begin to move into our more active standing portion of the sequence. We're going to take and move over into tabletop, coming onto all fours. Hands placed on the mat, shoulder width apart underneath the shoulders. Knees underneath the hips, fingers spread wide. Again, gazing down, noticing that support, feeling the ground. Feeling yourself, your head be pulled to the far side of the room. Inhaling deeply, and then looking over the right shoulder as we exhale, looking back at that right pinky toe. Inhale, filling yourself back to center. Then exhale as we look over the left shoulder to the left pinky toe. Inhale, visualizing pulling in clean, cool air. Exhale to the right, feeling ourselves squeezing out the last of that stagnancy. Inhale back to center. Exhale over the left. One final time for inhaling back to center. Next, we're going to move into lion or bird dog pose. We start that by extending the left leg back, taking this opportunity, if it's within your practice, remember, this is your yoga, your way. If all you want to do is sit there and breathe today, that's just fine. You're doing yoga. Tucking the toes, maybe bouncing a little bit to begin to loosen up those tendons in your hamstrings and your Achilles. Shifting the weight into your left hand, extending your right hand out, pulling your belly button in to engage the core, and then lifting that back leg up. Feeling the tremble, feeling the shake, and just noticing that. Exhale, come back down to all fours. And then we're going to extend the right leg back. Again, taking that opportunity to tuck those toes and bounce a little bit. Shifting the weight into the right hand, extending the left hand out, engaging the belly button to engage the core, and then lifting that back leg up. And again, noticing those little trembles, those little micro shakes within your body before you exhale and come back down onto all fours. Now we're going to prepare to go into our first down dog of the night. You get to hear me gasping a little bit. My allergies are kicking up and not enough air is getting through my nose. And so just remember that. It's okay to breathe however you want to breathe. If you need to breathe through your mouth, that's okay. We're focusing on getting good deep breaths in and good deep breaths out. Yes, ideally we want to breathe through our nose, but sometimes nature just doesn't let that happen. And that's okay. So we're going to tuck the toes, bring the sit bones back to the heels, and then I like to envision it as unfolding our legs and bringing our sit bones up towards the ceiling. Just like this, pushing ourselves up and back, not worrying about if our knees are bent. That's just fine. Not worrying about if our heels are touching down. Who cares? This is your yoga, your way. We're literally just looking to get the head below the plane of the heart to give a little bit of a rest to our heart, taking a little bit of pressure off of that so important organ. Before we inhale, look forward and slowly walk to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway up, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Touch the mat. And we're going to take and bring the hands to the crease in the hips. Straighten the legs. Keeping the head forward. We're going to inhale very slowly as we stack one vertebrae on top of the other. Rising up very, very slowly before finally coming to the top, rolling the shoulders back and down, bring the head up, and just feeling a bit more of the day's pressures lift from your shoulders. Inhale, bring the hands overhead. Exhale, forward fold, lead with the heart. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, high plank. Lower down, low push-up. Remembering, it's okay to go to your knees. It's okay to do whatever you want. Because, again, this is your yoga, your way. Turning the feet over, pushing ourselves up into upward dog, tucking the toes, pushing back and hinging up into downward dog. Maybe now you begin to notice that maybe your knees are a little bit looser. Maybe those tendons are a little bit looser. Maybe you're beginning to move a little bit smoother. Or maybe you're not. That's okay. Again, it's your body. Listen to your body. Do what it tells you to do. This is where we take advantage of this position to begin to try to shift our internal conversation with ourselves to the positive. And we do that with two magic words. I am happy. I am healthy. I am okay. We're going to inhale, bring the right leg up. Exhale, swing it forward between the hands. And if you notice, I'm not very graceful. This isn't about grace and poise. This is about getting our body and our mind to work together. I'm going to rise up, turning the back foot back across the back of the mat. Knee bent, keeping the knee over the front ankle, rising up, bringing the arms out, gaze shifted out over that front arm, feeling the stability. Taking a second, maybe like me, to let your breath catch up with the movement. Because not only is the movement linked to the breath, but in reality, the breath is linked to the movement. Turning the front hand over, we're going to prepare to reverse our warrior by bringing that front hand up to the ceiling and the back hand down the back side of the back leg. Maybe feeling a little bit of a stretch on the inside of that back leg before coming back up into warrior two, straightening that front leg, tipping the pelvis back, and then we're going to, keeping the heart open to the far side of the room, we're going to allow ourselves to fall over that front leg by bringing that front arm down, chest open, the back hand up towards the ceiling. Maybe this time feeling a bit of a pull on the inside of that front leg. Before rising back up into warrior two, windmilling the hands down to the mat, stepping back and pushing right back into downward dog. Continuing that internal conversation. Maybe thinking about the conversation you have with yourself in the mirror every morning. I am a handsome devil. I am going to have pearly white teeth and fresh breath as soon as I brush my teeth. I am going to do amazing things today. Inhale, bring the left leg up. I think that's my left. Yeah, it is. Then we're going to swing it forward between the hands. Notice I'm even more awkward on this side. That's okay. Remember, we're not the same on either side. And it's okay. And it's actually good for us to take and just notice the difference. Not judge ourselves, not critique ourselves. Just notice. Before coming into warrior two on this side, taking a second to notice, did I fall into the present? Or am I leaning forward, reaching for the future? Or leaning back, stuck in the past? We're looking for present. But if you find yourself in either one of those places, don't worry about it. Just notice it. Turn the front hand over. Reach that hand up towards the ceiling, running the back hand down the back side of the back leg, feeling that stretch on the inside of the back leg. For inhaling, coming back up to warrior two, straightening that front leg, shifting the pelvis back, keeping the heart open, allowing yourself to fall down over that front leg, reaching that back hand up towards the ceiling, running that front hand down the inside of the front leg. Not worrying about how far down you go, knowing none of that matters. This is your yoga, your way. Inhale, coming back up to warrior two. Windmilling the hands down to the mat, stepping back, pushing right back into downward dog. I am doing yoga. I am observing and learning healing tools from within myself. I am stronger than I ever thought I would have to be. Inhale, look forward. Hop, walk, or jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway up, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the hands up overhead. Exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. Moving into that sequence one more time. Inhale, bring the hands up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, lead with the heart. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step back. High plank. It's okay to have your knees down. Lower down, low push-up. Turn the feet over. Pushing up into upward dog. Tucking the toes, hinging back into downward dog. Continuing that internal conversation. I am in downward dog. I am moving. I am okay. Inhale, bring that right leg up. Allow the knee to bend and the foot to fall over to the left. Gazing out underneath that left armpit before again swinging that foot forward between the hands, coming into a low lunge on this side. Rising up, bring the head to neutral, shoulders back. Maybe saying, you know what, I want to be in kneeling pose today. Or you know what, my knees are a little tender today. I'm going to come back into hero's pose. Lifting the pressure off of my knees, realizing that anything is okay. So next, we're going to take an inhale, bring the hands up overhead, reaching for the ceiling. Shifting the gaze up between the hands, you notice a beautiful balloon, your favorite color. And on that balloon, you're writing down with a Sharpie all of the things that are holding you back, all of those things you've told yourself that are excuses for why you can't do this or do that or be this or be that. You're writing them all down, all over that balloon to where it's filled up, covered up with Sharpie. And you're lifting it up, and releasing it. And watching it rise higher, and higher, and higher, and feeling it taking with it all of those things that no longer serve you, taking them away, away, away. Inhale, bring the hands overhead. Exhale, plant the hands on the mat, step back, and push right back up into downward dog once more. I am lighter. I am taking care of me. I am worthy. Inhale, bring the right and left leg up. Let the knee bend. Let that foot fall over to the right side, looking out underneath the right armpit. Before swinging that foot forward into a low lunge on the other side. Remembering it's okay to move back into kneeling. It's okay to go into hero's pose. It's okay to just sit down and watch me doing yoga and breathe and be present in the moment. And we're going to inhale, bring the hands up overhead. And this time, as we shift our gaze up, we see a beautiful little sky lantern with its flickering candle inside that brown paper bag. And into the gondola holding that candle, we're putting all of our feelings, all of our emotions, all of those things that tie those bands around our lower chest, all of those words we need to communicate, all of those things we need to communicate, but don't know how. We're putting them all in there in that little sky lantern. We're lifting that sky lantern up, 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 and releasing it. And watch it begin to rise until the wind catches it and blows it right exactly to where those words, feelings, and emotions need to go. Inhale, bring the hands overhead. Exhale, bring them down to the mat. Tuck the toes, step back, pushing back into downward dog. Continuing that conversation of I am present. I am whole. I am okay. We're going to inhale, look forward, and step through into a seated position. Coming into a seated position now, letting our back feel straight, our head come to neutral. Bring the bottoms of our feet together, taking a second to pay attention to this part of our body that supports us all day long, that carries us to where we need to go, and that is so often overlooked. Just paying attention a little bit to your feet, to your ankles, to your lower legs. Realizing that self-care is never selfish. We have to take and fill ourselves up in order to be able to serve others. Next, we're going to take in inhale, feeling our shoulders lift towards the ceiling. And then we're going to hinge at the hips and allow ourselves to fold over our feet, keeping our back straight and our head neutral. Opening up our hips and releasing all of that tension and anxiety that we tend to store in our hips. Feeling it begin to flow out. Inhale, feel yourself pulled a little bit farther to the far side of the room. Exhale, sink down just a little bit more, letting more of that baggage be released from those hips. Before we inhale, rising slowly back up, keeping our feet on the mat, bringing our knees up. We're going to move into our first of 3 boat poses. Going ahead and grabbing the backs of your thighs or leaning back on your hands. We're going to take and bring the back straight, the chin slightly tucked, pulling the belly button in, but continuing to breathe. Remember that about having to remember to breathe. We're going to slowly bring our feet up. It's okay to keep one foot down or both feet, whatever works for you. But the key thing here is coming back to like we did earlier, noticing that tremble, noticing that shake, and becoming aware that that is our mind and our body working together to chase fear out. Right ankle over left. Deflate. Deflate. Inhale, lift the seat. Exhale, set it right back down, coming into our second boat pose. Again, feeling the strength of the mind and the body working together, feeling that tremble in your gut, maybe feeling it in the front of your thighs, maybe feeling it in your back. Right ankle over left. Deflate. Deflate. Lift the seat. And come right back up into our third and final boat pose. Again, feeling that fear fleeing from our mind and our body working together, leaving us lighter and freer before bringing the left foot over the right. Deflate, deflate. Inhale, lift the seat. Exhale, set it back down. Taking a second to inhale and exhale. Then rolling over our legs, planting the hands, extending back into a plank pose. Feeling again that stability. It's okay to take and bring your knees to the mat if that's what you need to do. That's okay. It's your yoga, your way. Again, noticing those little tremors, those little shakes. Allow the heels to fall to the right, reaching the left hand up towards the ceiling in a side plank before coming back down into a high plank, shifting the heels to the left, rising up into a side plank on the other side. Again, noticing those trembles, noticing those shakes, and appreciating them for what they are, the result of the mind and the body working together to chase fear out. Coming back down to high plank, coming down into a forearm plank, feeling the shoulders begin to separate a little bit. Bring the knees down, the thighs, the belly, tops of the feet, separating the hands, and bringing your ear down to the mat. And feeling that breath pushing against the stability of the ground, lifting you up on the inhale and gently lowering you down on the exhale. And as that breath begins to regulate, maybe you can begin to feel and hear your heart beating. Maybe it's the first time you've truly noticed your heart beating all day long. You come to the realization that that heart has been beating all day, every day, just for you. The center of its attention, the center of its love. And it pushes that love out and up, up, up to the top of your head and down, down, down to the tips of your toes. Inhale, bring the head up. Exhale, bring the other ear to the mat. And maybe now you begin to notice that love that has filled you up continue to pulse out in time with the heart in radiating, expanding circles, reaching out and filling your household, embracing your neighborhood, and ultimately wrapping your community in great, big, beautiful, shared love. Inhale, bring the head up to neutral. Bring the hands down on either side of the chest, pushing yourselves up into tabletop, just long enough to bring your big toes together, knees to the outside edge of the mat, sit bones back towards the heel. We're going to move into child's pose, traditionally with the forehead on the mat. And if that's within your practice, great. That's what you should do. Or you can follow me. I build myself a little column with one fist stacked on top of the other. And I notice that little hollow spot in the middle of that column that creates a conduit, a pipeline. And then I bring my head, my forehead, that magical spot, the third eye, that spot between your eyebrows, into contact and perch it on top of that, my own little personal column. And as that pressure begins to be exerted on that think center, I notice that that pressure is also signaling the pineal gland that I am safe. And it's okay to begin to slow down. It's okay to let go of those thoughts that don't serve me anymore. I begin to feel them and see them in my mind's eye, swirling around that third eye before slowly spiraling in and being drained down that pipeline we created with our hands and being absorbed into the ground, leaving us even freer and lighter. Keeping the head down, bring the palms of the hands to the mat, And keeping the head tucked, slowly walk the hands back towards the body, rising up slowly, keeping the chin tucked before rolling the shoulders up and back. Bring the head up to neutral and blinking the eyes and feeling the last of the weight of the world lift from your shoulders, leaving you freer and more at ease than you've been all day. We're going to take and reach over to one side, bring our legs out in front of us, allowing ourselves to slowly roll back down onto the mat, moving into our final position of the night for guided meditation or shavasana. You can lie on your belly, you can sit up, whatever works for you. Traditionally, it's on your back, gaze up towards the ceiling, legs extended down, feet about a foot, 18 inches apart, and allow the feet to splay open, reducing any stress on your hip joints. Arms slightly splayed out, hands can be facing up, hands can be facing down, allowing the gaze to soften or maybe the eyes to close. As you begin to feel yourself sinking into the mat, feeling your back to your heels resting heavily, feeling your calves releasing, feeling your belly just sliding down and back. You begin to feel and see a beautiful ball of light flowing down towards the top of your head. And as that ball begins to push its way through your scalp, tingling and tickling its way in, you feel it begin to loosen up and release any of the tension left in your forehead. You feel all of the wrinkles and lines smoothing out, your eyebrows drifting apart. You feel that light flowing down, picking up all of the debris left over in your mind, lighting up all of the shadows, leaving no place for any negativity to hide. As it rolls down behind your eyes, you feel your eyes sinking deeper and deeper into their sockets. As that light rolls down, carrying with it all of the rest of that debris, you feel your jaw go slack, teeth separating, lips just lightly together as your tongue rests heavily against the back of your teeth. You feel that light rolling down into your shoulders, running down the lengths of your arms, making the palms of your hands tingle as it picks up any of those things you're still trying to hold on to, and pulling all of them out of your grasp and consuming them within that ball of light floating in your chest. It's just granting your heart a big, warm, comfortable hug. As that light continues to roll down through your belly, releasing all of those ties you've knotted up around your gut, just letting it all fall free. As that light rolls down through your pelvis, into your thighs, you feel your knees begin to tingle as that light carries with it all of that stuff you don't need anymore. And the bottom of your feet begin to tingle as it pushes its way out through those feet and floats off, leaving you feeling safe, secure, and at ease. And as you're lying here in this place of safety, security, and free of dis-ease, you hear yourself begin to say silently inside your head, May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be at ease. May my family be healthy. May my family be happy. May my family be at ease. May my community be happy. May my community be safe. May my community be at ease. May the whole world find comfort and healing. As we begin to move back up into the world of movement, we begin wiggling our fingers and our toes, rotating our wrists and our ankles, bringing our hands to our chest before extending those arms up towards the ceiling, extending the fingers, wiggling those fingers, and then pulling our knees into our chest, wrapping ourselves into a well-deserved hug, rocking gently from side to side to massage out the last little bit of tension that you may be storing in your lower back before allowing yourself to roll over onto your favorite side, pillowing your head on your lower bicep, bringing your upper arm down to the floor. One more time, noticing the grounding, the support, the stability offered by the earth. And then keeping your eyes closed to hold on to this sense of ease that you have gifted yourself today. Use that upper arm to push yourself up, coming gracefully or awkwardly, it doesn't matter, into an easy seated position, whatever works for you. I invite you to bring your hands together at heart center, bringing your thumbs into your sternum and allowing your head to bow down to the ultimate ruler, the heart. I ask you one last time to listen to these words. Truly say them to yourselves and know that they are true, as true about you as they are about me. I am whole. I am worthy of giving and receiving love. I am at ease. This magical light that burns within me sees, recognizes, and acknowledges that same magical light within the heart of each and every one of you. Thank you so much for sharing practice with me today. Namaste. And I hope you all found a little bit of ease in today's practice, a little bit of comfort, and please recognize and acknowledge that comfort and that ease is inside each and every one of you. Thank you again. Have a great evening.